Welcome to the Counting and Clapping tutorial series created by the junior high band teachers of the Gilbert Unified School District in Gilbert, Arizona. Counting and Clapping tutorial number 7, 16th notes. At the end of this tutorial, you should understand how to count and clap single 16th notes, how to count and clap double-beamed 16th notes, and how to count and clap various rhythm patterns containing a mixture of notes and rests that include single and double-beamed 16th notes. To be successful, you need to already understand the concepts taught in these earlier tutorials: all rhythm tree tutorials, basic time signatures and beats, counting and clapping part 1, conventions, part 2, whole, half, and quarter notes, part 3, whole, half, and quarter rests, part 4, ties and dotted half notes, part 5, eighth notes, and part 6, eighth rests. Let's start by reviewing single and double-beamed 16th notes. 16th notes can be written as single notes, like they are here. Or 16th notes can be connected by a double beam, like they are here. But nothing changes except how they look. Two single 16th notes get the exact same counting as double-beamed 16th notes. Most often, beams connect notes into groups of 2 or 4. When writing in the counting, we write in the letter E after each number and the letter A after each plus sign. We have 4 single 16th notes, and we would write 1 E and A. Then we have 2 pairs of double-beamed 16th notes, 2 E and A, and a group of 4 double-beamed 16th notes, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. 4 16th notes fit into 1 quarter note. If you look in the lower right corner, you'll see 4 quarter notes and all of the 16th notes above them that need to fit in the same space. That means that 16ths are 4 times as fast as quarters. Here's a video showing the counting and clapping of 4 quarter notes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now a video showing all 16th notes.
1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a.
When counting and clapping 16th notes, as with everything else, always check the time signature for the number of beats per bar and write the counting directly underneath the notes. In this example, the top number is a 4, so every measure must have 4 beats. Be sure to count out loud and clap at the start of every note. Our first measure in this example starts with 2 quarter notes that both get claps, 1, 2. Count and clap 16th notes 4 times as fast as you did the quarter notes. The next 4 notes are 4 single 16th notes, so we would clap and count them 3 E and A. The next 4 16th notes are double beamed together. The counting is the same, except it starts on count 4, 4 E and A. Count and clap 16ths 2 times as fast as eighth notes. So in this next measure, we have 4 single-beamed eighth notes to start the measure, 1 and 2 and, followed by 4 double-beamed 16th notes that we would count twice as fast, 3 E and A. We end this measure with 4 single 16th notes, 4 E and A. Start all full bars with the number 1, and remember to number all beats consecutively. So in our last measure, 4 double-beamed 16th notes at the beginning of a measure, 1 E and A, then 2 beamed eighth notes, 2 and, then 2 pairs of double-beamed 16th notes, 3 E and A, and we end with 2 single eighth notes, 4 and. Here's a video showing the correct counting and clapping for this particular example.
1, 2, 3 and a, 4 E and a, 1 and 2 and 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 and 3 E and a, 4 and.
Now we'll explore 3 examples where we mix single 16th notes with double beam 16th notes and various rhythms that we've already looked at in previous tutorials. Example number 1 starts out with 4 double beam 16th notes. Every note gets its own clap, 1 E and A, followed by 2 single beamed 8th notes, 2 and then 4 more double beamed 16th notes starting on count 3, 3 E and A, and we end with a quarter rest, no clap on count 4. The next measure starts with 2/8, a single 8th note followed by an 8th rest, a clap on the note, hands apart on the rest, 1 and. Then a quarter note on count 2, 4 double beamed 16th notes on count 3, 3 E and A, and 2/8 at the end, a rest and a note, 4 and. The 4 hands apart, the and is clapped. The next measure starts with a quarter rest, hands apart, 1, and then we have 4 8th notes, and the middle 2 8th notes are tied together. So we count 2 and 3 and. We keep our hands together on count 3 after we clap the and after 2. So it would look like this, 2 and 3 and. We end the measure with 4 double beamed 16th notes, 4 E and A. The last measure starts with 4 double beamed 16th notes, 1 E and A, hands apart on our 8th rest on count 2, and clap on the and after count 2 for the 8th note, 2 and we finish with a half note, clapping on count 3 and keeping our hands together while we continue on to count 4, 3, 4. Here's a video showing the correct counting and clapping for example number 1.
1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4. 1 and 2, 3 E and a 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4.
Let's take a look at a second example where now we include some single 16th notes and single 8th notes. The first measure looks really messy, and it is. That's why the second half of the measure looks better because we use the beams. In the first half of the measure, we start out with 2 single 8th notes and clap 1 and. We follow that with 4 single 16th notes and count 2 E and A. The second half of the measure is actually the same rhythm as the first half, and it's much easier to read because of the way we beam them. So the next 2 8th notes coming on count 3 are beamed 3 and the 4 16th notes are double beamed 4 E and A. Measure 2 starts with a quarter rest, hands apart, 1, and then we have 2/8, a rest followed by a note, hands apart, and then a clap, 2 and. The next 4 notes are all 16th notes. The first 2 are double beamed together, and the next 2 are singled, but we still count 3 E and A. The measure ends with 2 beamed 8th notes, 4 and. Measure 3 starts with a 3 count dotted half note. We clap on count 1, keep our hands going for counts 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we have simply 4 16th notes, but the first 2 are singles and the next 2 are double beamed, but we would still count them 4 E and A. The last measure has 4 16th notes together, double beamed, 1 E and A, then 2 quarter notes tied together. So we clap on count 2, keep our hands together, and continue to count 3, 2, 3. The measure ends with 2/8, a note followed by a rest, 4 and. Here's a video showing the correct counting and clapping for example number 2.
1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 E and a 1 E and a 2, 3, 4 and.
Our last example is going to combine 8ths and 16ths together in combination. The first half of the first measure and the second half of the first measure are the same pattern. Notice how much easier it is to read when we use the beams and the double beams. It starts out with a single eighth note followed by two 16th notes. So we start out with 1 on the eighth note and a on the two 16ths. 1 and a. The next is the same, but we start on count 2. 2 and a. The third beat is the same as the first two, but looks much cleaner with the beam and the double beam. Notice how the eighth note has a single beam and the two 16th notes after it are double beamed. 3 and a. The last beat in this measure, number 4, is the same as number 3. We just start on a different number. 4 and a. Measure 2 flip-flops measure 1. So instead of starting with an eighth note and then two 16ths, we start with the two 16ths and end with an eighth. Again, notice how much cleaner and easier it is to read when we use the beams in the second half of the measure. So we start out with our two 16ths and end in an eighth. 1 E and, followed by 2 E and. Then 3 E and, but with double beams for the 16th and a single beam for the eighth. 4 E and, again double beam for the 16th and a single beam for the eighth. The third measure is much more like something you would see in a real piece of music. It starts out with two eighth notes beamed together, 1 and. Then we have 1 eighth note beamed with two double beamed 16th notes, 2 and a. Then 2 eighth notes, 3 and on beat 4, the 16th notes come first, 4 E and. The last measure has 4 double beam 16th notes, 1 E and a, followed by an eighth rest, which will be 2, and then and a for the two double beam 16th notes, 2 and a. Beat 3 starts with two 16th notes and then ends with an eighth, 3 E and the eighth is a rest, so our hands are apart. The whole example number 3 ends with two eighth notes beamed together, 4 and. Here is a video showing the correct counting and clapping for example number 3.
1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 E and 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and 4 and.
This tutorial explained how to count and clap single and double beamed 16th notes. It provided examples of rhythm patterns containing a mixture of notes and rests that included both single and double beamed 16th notes. It introduced the concept of combining 1 eighth note with two 16th notes. The next tutorial in this series focuses on dotted quarters and eighths in combination.